All right, hello and a very good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us tonight. It is the 11th day of December 2025, the Jamhuri Eve, and we have quite a lot of stories lined up and prepared for you tonight. Our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi and I am Theo Macharia. Let's get straight into it. And the Ministry of Education has officially released the results of 1,130,459 learners who sat the 2025 KJSEA examinations conducted between October 27th and November 3rd this year. The tests were designed to gauge the readiness of the pioneer cohort of the competency-based education, also known as CBE, who now transition into senior secondary school in January 2026. While releasing the results, Education CS Julius Ogamba announced that 7 subjects recorded a higher proportion of learners meeting expectations. And unlike traditional exams, the results have been released without ranking, placing learners into 4 performance bands, that is, exceeding expectations, meeting expectations, approaching expectations, and below expectations. Ogamba assured parents that school fees will remain unchanged as the country prepares for the first full transition of learners into senior school.
Of the 1,130,459 candidates who sat for the 2025 KJSEA, 59.09% have demonstrated potential to pursue the STEM pathway at senior school. 46.52% have demonstrated capacity to pursue the social science pathway, and 48.73% the arts and sports pathway. Ladies and gentlemen, the next important step is a placement and transition of learners to senior school. Learners will be placed to senior schools based on their performance and selected pathways, in line with the recommendations of the Presidential Working Party on Education Reform. The assessment of learners at grade 9 comprised 20% from the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment, 20% from the school-based assessment in grade 7 and 8, and 60% summative evaluation at grade 9. This summative evaluation is the KJSEA.
All right, and from the entire Hope Media team, we say congratulations to the learners. The future is bright, so go forth and conquer. Now, shifting gears to matters Jamhuri Day celebrations. As Kenya gears up for tomorrow's 62nd Jamhuri Day celebrations, authorities say the capital is fully prepared to host the event. Nairobi Regional Commissioner Gilbert Kitiyo has unveiled a tightened security and traffic plan, urging residents to cooperate for a smooth and colorful national event. Addressing the press in Nairobi, Kitiyo said both uniformed and plainclothes officers will patrol the city with specialized units on standby for emergencies. He noted that traffic will be disrupted on major roads leading to Nyayo Stadium and urged motorists to follow officers' instructions. Members of the public attending the event, to be graced by President William Ruto at Uhuru Gardens, have been advised to arrive at the venue by 7 a.m. and take personal security precautions.
On traffic management, all the vehicles from Langata Road will be diverted and Madaraka Road roundabout to Lusaka Road roundabout, while the Aerodrome Wakiru Road will be closed between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. All vehicles on the expressway from Westlands will exit at Bunyala beginning from 7 a.m. and those from Lolongo will exit at Capital Center. No vehicles will be allowed on the expressway opposite Nyayo Stadium. Traffic on all the other roads normally. All motorists are requested to follow the directives of the traffic officers who will be at hand to guide. Individuals should also take necessary security precautions. They should not use their expensive phones or expose expensive watches, jewelry, and other valuables in crowded areas. I think these are normally the ground rules. The people may carry water, refreshments, or snacks to the venue, but not alcoholic drinks. Hakuna vileo. The national government administration officers, police officers, National Youth Service and other agencies will be at hand to guide people on where to sit at the pavilion, the public terraces and other convenient areas. Everyone is expected to be seated by 7 a.m.
And now to some record-breaking news. Truphena Muthoni, 22-year-old, became the first person to ever hug a tree for 72 hours at exactly 12:25 p.m. on Thursday, after she successfully broke her own record of 48 hours, which she had set in February this year. Truphena broke the record at the office of the Nyeri governor, that is Mutahi Kahiga, in the presence of hundreds of Kenyans who had turned up in large numbers to history being made. Jacob Ochiro was on that beat, and now details.
The office of Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga on Thursday was a beehive of activity as Kenyans camped to see 22-year-old girl Truphena Muthoni break her previous tree-hugging record of 48 hours. Chaos transpired in the morning as onlookers overwhelmed the officers manning the office wanting to get access to the venue, but when calm was restored, focus shifted to Truphena, with Kenyans cheering her up in song and dance. As the 72-hour mark drew closer, Truphena still pressed on despite having had no rest, no food and no drink for more than 2 days. With a few seconds to go, Kenyans drew closer to the tree that Truphena hugged as a countdown started to capture the moment. Jubilations transpired after she successfully broke the record. After breaking, officers from the Kenya Red Cross Society who were on standby whisked her away into an ambulance to check her vitals and for further medical care. Leaders from across the country, led by Governor Kahiga and Nairobi Women Representative Esther Passaris, sent congratulatory messages to her for raising awareness about the importance of nature conservation and mental health, with several other organizations giving her gifts for achieving this great feat. Truphena began training for this in March, a month after breaking the previous record, and the 22-year-old is expected to officially enter the Guinness World Book of Records once it is ratified. For Newswatch, my name is Jacob Ochiro.
All right, thank you so much, Jacob, for that report. And moving on, a Mombasa court has ordered the continued detention of 7 Kenya Navy officers at the center of a suspected 192 million shillings methamphetamine trafficking network, marking one of the country's biggest narcotics investigations this year. Senior Principal Magistrate Gladys Olimo granted the Anti-Narcotics Unit 10 working days to finalize forensic tests, digital analysis and profiling after officers recovered 24 kilograms of crystalline substances believed to be methamphetamine during coordinated raids. Detectives also seized 11 mobile phones said to contain crucial communication trails linking the suspects to a wider trafficking syndicate. Prosecutors told the court that the case poses a high risk of evidence interference and involves significant public interest, prompting the extended detention ahead of the suspect's return to court on December 20.
The problem is, Your Honor, the request at which the question we have given, the respondents be remanded at Port Police Station, Kilindini. The regional officer. Yes. Yeah, but what I was responding, Your Honor, if you allow me, is that the regional officer that Ms. Ogala is suggesting should be present is based at the regional headquarters next to State House. Geographically, it would be impossible to see someone. The regional in charge and the narcotics unit is housed at the regional DCI headquarters in the opposite end of town after State House. Therefore, to see someone at the port in his presence is to say we will not see them.
And President William Ruto conferred a total of 54 lawyers with the rank of senior counsel at State House on Thursday morning, where he tasked the newly conferred senior counsels to ensure they uphold the highest level of integrity. Ruto also congratulated the senior counsel bar for rewarding meritocracy. Chief Justice Martha Koome congratulated them and charged them with a responsibility to mediate and repair the frosty relationship between the judges and the advocates. Among those conferred were Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula, former Law Society of Kenya Presidents Nelson Havi and Eric Theuri, and former Makueni Governor Kivutha Kibwana.
The highest level of integrity is to be faithful and patriotic to not just your nation, but also your profession. And I believe that you have earned this place because you have portrayed, you have worked hard to get yourselves to this point.
You have a duty to lead the way in nurturing a dignified bar-bench relations. The bar and the bench are not rivals. We are partners in a shared value of ensuring our constitution, of upholding justice and safeguarding the rule of law becomes a success and a daily endeavor. The senior counsel bar must step forward to restore and nurture healthy, respectful, and principled bar-bench relations. You carry the institutional memory and moral authority to remind the profession of the traditions that have sustained the legal practice for generations.
The United Opposition has faulted the government for what they term as arbitrary sale of public assets discreetly, referring to the recent sale of 15% of government stakes in Safaricom and privatization of KPC. The leaders say the government is violating the law to benefit a few, further vowing to challenge such decisions in court. And as Sami Adika reports, the opposition is also set to challenge the results of Mbeere North and Malava constituencies by-elections held on November 27th.
Safaricom's management and board continue to have responsibility for day-to-day operations.
Days after the government sold 15% of its stakes in Safaricom and privatized the Kenya Pipeline Company,
courts have intervened on Safaricom, on KPC, on JKIA.
The opposition now maintains that the decisions violate the constitution and do not benefit Kenyans.
Every pipeline sold, every share disposed, every asset compromised is a betrayal of the generations who fought for our freedom.
Either be outsiders interested in buying off Kenyan assets without proper public participation, without we, the people. We are sending out a strong warning to them that those things will be countermanded.
Having lost the Malava and Mbeere North parliamentary seats to UDA candidates in the November 27th by-elections, the opposition has begun the process of challenging the results, insisting the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC failed to deliver free and fair by-elections.
IEBC has the powers to call off an election because of violence, where there were deaths like in Kaspul, 2 people died, in Chwele, 1 person died, many were maimed, vehicles burned. They had the powers to call off this election, but they did nothing. They have the powers to actually suspend.
We are not going to be demanding. We are going to take action because we know we are talking to people with wax in their ears. And so when we say we are going to prosecute the chair of IBC, private prosecution, along with Mr. Marjan, take it seriously.
As leaders in the northeastern counties continues to push for sustainable drought solutions and 2.1 million Kenyans facing severe food shortage, The national government, counties and other non-governmental agencies have been urged to join hands to avert the worsening situation.
For urgent and immediate support by both the national and county governments, and we urge county governments to reallocate their budgets to address the urgency of now, particularly because of the drought. And we're also calling upon the international community to come in so that the affected families, affected counties and communities can receive the support.
While dismissing President Ruto's track record, his former deputy Rigathi Gachagua urged Kenyans to take lead in demanding accountability and respect to the rule of law.
William Ruto, don't tell the people of Kenya that the problem is tribalism and lack of unity in the country, because you know it's a lie. That is diversionary. The problem of Kenya is theft of public resources.
The High Court decision to suspend the 200 billion Kenya-US Health Cooperation deal adds to the list of agreements many say have been signed discreetly and against the law. For Newswatch, I'm Sami Adika.
All right, thank you so much, Sami Adika, for that comprehensive report. And now we shift gears to matters higher education, where Cabinet Secretary for Education Julius Migos Ogamba has reaffirmed the government's commitment to honoring the 7.6 billion shilling CBA for university lecturers and unions, speaking at the 74th University of Nairobi graduation ceremony, where 4,504 graduates received degrees and diplomas. CS Ogamba emphasized the importance of innovation, entrepreneurship, and the use of emerging technologies such as AI to drive Kenya's economy transformation. He stressed that well-supported and motivated lecturers are key to quality education, assuring that the government will uphold its obligations to strengthen universities and improve working conditions for academic staff.
We have every reason to celebrate you for the discipline, for the hard work that has enabled you to come this far. Today, graduates, you are not just receiving a degree, you are also receiving the full weight of the sacrifices made by yourselves during your study and on your behalf by your parents, guardians, and sponsors who have supported you and walked with you along this journey to make this day possible. The award that you receive today is not merely a degree or just a piece of paper. It is a promise of a great future, a promise that you use your knowledge, your resilience, and your skill sets to serve not only yourself, but your country, your family, and your community.
And incidents of gender-based violence have continued to draw the attention of community leaders and anti-GBV advocates in Cheptiangwa, West Pokot County, as stakeholders and increased awareness, especially on emerging cases of online abuse. Local authorities and organizations say that the progress is being made, although more needs to be done to protect women and girls.
In West Pokot County's Cheptiangwa area, efforts to curb cases of gender-based violence are gaining momentum. With community organizations working closely with residents and authorities, leaders say new structures have been put in place to rescue victims and encourage more people to report abuse.
And we want to amplify what we do so that we can inform the community, we can inform the women, we can inform the girls. That is facilitated through online. And as Childline, we are also running projects that are able to protect the girl child against that violence that is motivated through online.
Stakeholders are also raising alarm over a rising trend digital violence targeting women and girls. Childline Kenya, one of the key players in the fight against online abuse, says joint efforts are helping address these emerging threats.
Pia kuhamasisha jamii ya kwamba wakiona kesi kama hizo wasinyamaze, waripoti kwa njia tofauti. Kuna njia nyingi za kuripoti. Watu wanaweza na kwa polisi, kwa chifu, na pia kuna hiyo namba yetu ambayo tunafanyia kazi inaitwa Child Helpline 116. wanapiga simu.
The common examples of online violence include cyberbullying, harassment, stalking and hate speech.
Naanza kupunguka pia kwa ajili ya kwamba tumefanya jambo la maana kuelimisha hao kwa true barasas kwa nyumbani, pia watu wapendane na wajue wafanye kazi yao kwa pamoja. Kwa hivyo katika sehemu hii hatujapata cases mingi sana, lakini kuna zingine kwa ndani ambao pengine wanajificha. Still hao pia tunajaribu kuongelesha wale village elders, wajaribu kukaa chini, wajaribu kuongelesha hao watu kwa ajili ya kuna wamama wengine wachache wanapata hiyo shida, lakini kwa jumla watu wengi wameanza.
Residents say the community is gradually abandoning harmful cultural practices, with more children, especially girls, now attending school instead of being subjected to early marriage and FGM.
Yetu watasimama na kina mama na watoto waweze wakasema ya kuwa kuna dhulma mahali fulani, na dhulma hizi inaweza kuwa ukeketaji ama mtoto kukatazwa kwenda shule, kunyimwa karo, mtoto kupigwa pale nyumbani ama baba na mama kupigana. Hiyo ni baadhi ya dhulma ambazo tunapigana nazo na tunaeleza community yetu ya kuwa ni mambo ambayo ni ya kale na tunastahili kusuluhisha mambo vilivyo vizuri bila vita.
Community elders are urging continued unity in addressing violence, insisting that progress is being made but much remains to be done. With increased awareness, stronger reporting channels and community cooperation, leaders and villagers remain hopeful that the fight against gender-based violence will continue gaining ground both offline and online. Reporting for Newswatch, my name is Glory Nkatha.
All right, thank you so much, Glory, for that report. And on that note, we are taking our first break right here on Hope TV's Newswatch. Coming up on the other side is business news. Now, company that has been forced to pull down an advert because of using artificial intelligence. You don't want to miss this. See you on the other side with more top stories.
Hi everyone, my name is George Gishoro, a presenter with Hope TV. Thank you so very much for continuing to support us by watching all our programs. Now, we would love to serve you even better. Now, we want to know where you are watching us from and the strength of the signal. You can scan the QR code and ensure that you answer all the questions in ensuring that you are getting us loud and clear with crystal pictures. So go ahead and fill in the QR code so that we can serve you better right here at Hope TV, where you look and live.
At the age of 25 is where there is also another change, because the frontal cortex, this part of the head, the maturity now of the brain happens at that time, which is responsible for intellectual abilities, decision makings, and the executive area of the brain. Again, it comes with other challenges. Now that I am who I am, you withdraw further from people. The stage that comes in, sometimes it can come early, from the age of 35 all the way to 55. Midlife crisis. Midlife crisis. So the man is trying to catch up with the lost time. Unajua anajaribu kuingia kwa vijana because they lost the time, they don't fit. Mbona jamaa anaacha koti avae, lakini wao wamevaa
Jibu umevaa koti. Are you trying to communicate?
Are you trying to fit? So like so like they are trying to fit, but as they move closer to this generation, now ina move away. Inasonga, ukikuja inasonga. So then the loneliness increases, and in fact it is that critical stage where in the field of psychology we teach the men to begin to prepare themselves for that package of retirement.
Catch past episodes on our YouTube channel at Hope TV Kenya. Men on Record, every Friday at 7 p.m. There's a world out there searching for hope, and you can help bring it home. By becoming a friend of Hope, you're helping us share the love of Jesus through Hope FM and Hope TV. With a donation of any amount, Join hands with us to bring hope and point souls to the transforming power of Jesus Christ. Become a friend of hope today by making your donation through the M-Pesa paybill number 933933, account FOH. For more information on how to become a friend of hope, call 0116-212-723 or email customerexperience@hopefm.org or visit www.hopemediakenya.org. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
All right, thank you so much for sticking with us and choosing us to inform you tonight. Now, let's take that business story. McDonald's Netherlands has taken down a Christmas advert made with artificial intelligence following online backlash. The advert depicted the things that can go wrong during the Christmas break, using the slogan, "The most terrible time of the year," and suggesting the time was better spent in the company of the fast food giant. The advert was created for McDonald's Netherlands by a Dutch company known as TBWA Neboko and US production company The Sweet Shop. However, viewers have criticized the film's uncanny-looking characters and large number of stitched-together clips, calling it creepy and poorly edited. In a statement, McDonald's Netherlands said the video was meant to reflect the stressful moments that can occur during the holidays, but has decided to remove the advert. Adverts which include generative AI have become a growing trend among major brands, particularly for the Christmas season. All right, and now time for us to get sporty. We begin with Harambee Starlets, where they have wrapped up the year with a major lift in the latest FIFA women's rankings, jumping 7 places to position 133, their strongest global standings in 5 years. The climb crowns a standout 2025 campaign, highlighted by their historic return to the 2026 Women Africa's Cup of Nations after outclassing the Gambia in a decisive 2-leg qualifier. With momentum firmly on their side, the Starlets now look ahead to February's WAFCON in Morocco, where they will be pushing for even more ranking points to keep Kenya on an upward trajectory. Also again, Nairobi United have been handed a timely lift ahead of tomorrow's FKF Premier League clash with Murang'a Seal at Kasarani Annex, with Harambee Stars utility man Manzoor Suleiman Okwaro returning to full training. The midfielder had been sidelined for weeks by a tendon injury, delaying his debut since joining from KCB on deadline day. His comeback comes at a critical moment for the Nai boys, who are battling a run of 4 consecutive defeats and sit 13th on the table. Okwaro's availability will also be vital as the club prepares for next month's CAF Confederation Cup playoff against Azam FC. Right, and to some news that will excite Arsenal fans is that Arsenal continued their dominant Champions League run with a 3-0 win over Club Brugge, thanks to 3 goals from Madueke and Gabriel Martinelli, moving 3 points clear of Bayern Munich. In the league's phase standings, Manchester City edged Real Madrid 2-1 away, Ajax beat Qarabag 4-2, and Copenhagen claimed a 3-2 victory over Villarreal. Athletic Bilbao held PSG to a goalless draw, while Leverkusen and Newcastle shared points in a 2-2 stalemate. Dortmund also drew 2-2 with Bodo Glimt, and both Benfica and Juventus secured a 2-0 wins over Napoli and Pafos respectively, keeping the race for the last 16 competitive. All right, thank you so much, and that we come to the end of tonight's edition of Hope TV's Newswatch. I hope you have been adequately informed. My name is Theophilus Macharia, and our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Moreithi. Until next time, God bless, sleep well, and see you again.